There's all sorts of reasons people have a hard time doing a monthly money plan, but today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to do a zero-based monthly money plan so you can begin executing on your financial goals. Please like the channel, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can get notified when I come out with more content. There are several types of monthly money plan methods or budget methods. One of them is the 50-30-20 method, where you spend 50% of your money on your expenses, 30% on your wants, and 20% on savings and debt. Now, this method is great for giving you a general idea on where you should spend your money, but it's not flexible enough for everyone. So for example, if you have a lot of debt, then you probably shouldn't put 30% of your money towards things you want. You can pay down debt or start an emergency fund. Or if you're starting to save for retirement later in life, then you might want to put more than 20% into a retirement fund. The pay yourself method focuses on savings and debt reduction by making sure you're putting a specific amount toward those first, and then you can spend the rest of your money however you want. The benefit of this kind of budget is that you can make sure you're making progress towards savings and debt without having to go through the hassle of tracking everything that you spend your money on. The downside of this method is that you're not as in control of your money as with the zero-based budget, because a lot of people spend a lot of money on discretionary spending. So if you're not tracking it, then you're probably spending more on things that you don't need to instead of your financial goals. This method is also hard if you're low income or are living paycheck to paycheck, because it's very hard in those situations to pay yourself first. You have bills to pay and most of your money is going towards those. Some people love the envelope system, and this is a cash-based system focused on controlling spending by only using what's in the envelope for a particular category. This method is helpful because studies show that you spend less money when you pay with cash. You feel the pain of your transaction more. Now, I personally don't like touching cash, and I don't like having a lot of money on me so I don't get mugged or something. A lot of people love this method, but I think the downside is that you don't spend all your money or pay all your bills in cash. A lot of your subscriptions and bills are done over the internet. So it's hard to do this through an envelope system unless you're budgeting on empty envelopes, in which case you might as well just do a regular budget. Now, this method is great to use with the zero-based monthly money plan because you can do a full budget on paper and then use an envelope for when you need to spend cash. All of these methods are better than not having a budget at all, but my favorite is the zero-based monthly money plan. This method is the best in my opinion for making sure you have a plan for every dollar that you spend and making sure everything is targeted and moving towards your financial goals. In a nutshell, a zero-based money plan means your income minus your expenses must equal zero. If you aren't diligent telling your money where to go, then you'll end up spending it on things that are not important to you or helping you achieve your financial goals. I know I'd spend my entire paycheck on food if I didn't tell every dollar where to go. So first you want to list your income at the top of the paper. Typically, most families have two incomes, so an income section of your money plan might look something like this. So list out your four main expenses, or what we call the four walls. This includes your food or your groceries, your mortgage or your rent, your utility bills such as electric or gas, and your transportation, so if you have a car note or a bus or train pass. Then list out your other necessary expenses, and this includes things like childcare or healthcare, your phone bill, minimum payments on debt, or savings for retirement. Then finally, list out your discretionary spending. Then when you have the full list of items completed, you take your income minus your expenses, and it has to equal to zero. If it's below zero, then you have to go through each line item and determine where you can cut. And even if you think you can't cut anywhere, typically there is somewhere you can cut. So go through each line item and see where you can reduce it. If you went through absolutely every line item and there's nowhere you can cut, then you might need to think about taking on an additional job, looking for a higher paying job, or starting a side hustle. You simply can't spend more money than you make, so you have to do everything reasonable to make sure your budget balances to zero. If your income minus expenses is greater than zero, then great, you have more money to spend. So you need to look at your goals, both short-term and long-term, and figure out what's more important to you and where you should put that extra money. So if you don't have an emergency fund, then maybe your extra money should go there. Or if you have a lot of debt, then you can use that money towards extra debt payments so that you're not spending all your money on interest payments. If you want to start your own business and need startup capital, then maybe your extra money can fund your business. And remember, if you don't have an assignment for every dollar, then most likely a lot of your money is being spent in less than optimal ways on things that are not important to you. So list all your income and your expenses under the budgeted column. And if it equals to 0, then you have your zero-based money plan. Now, doing your zero-based money plan is great, but it means nothing if you're not controlling and tracking your money throughout the month. Every transaction has to be tracked and monitored to make sure you're not spending more money than you budgeted. Whether you do it right after you spend the money or at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as you are tracking every dollar. So if you spent money on groceries, you need to subtract that money from your groceries line item in your money plan. Or if you spent money on gas, you need to subtract that from your gas line item. So add a second column in your money plan for how much you actually spent and make sure you track that throughout the month. Then finally add a third column for how much you have remaining or have left to spend. And that's your full monthly money plan. Now all that's left is the hardest part, and that's controlling your actions and making sure you're staying on your money plan. But I'll save tips for that for a later video. If you need one-on-one help increasing your income, minimizing your expenses, or creating a zero-based monthly money plan, please hit the link in the description and sign up for a free consultation. Thank you.